Catch RCN SportsTalk now, anywhere, anytime. Eytan Shander, our special guest from Phillies ESPN Radio, 97.5 The Fanatic, the home of both the Flyers and the Sixers. And, of course, the Sixers made some major news last night. Sam Hinkie, the GM, stepping down within a couple hours. Jerry Colangelo names his son as his replacement. There's a whole sets of storylines out there. I know you have an interesting take on what happened and your thoughts about all of this transactions that seemingly has been boiling for weeks, if not months, but of course became public last night.
First thing I thought of when Jerry Colangelo was brought in and the terms weren't released, we didn't even know if he had any type of ownership stake. The first immediate reaction was, this is the beginning of the end for Sam Hinkie. So when you know that, when you get that type of sports diagnosis, this shouldn't come as a surprise. Timing, maybe because it's not the end of the season, but from Sam Hinkie's standpoint, my takeaway from all of this is that he was brought in to be the hatchet man. He was brought in to clean house and to establish a foundation. And through that is assets. And he has done a great job of dumping salary and creating assets and options for this team moving forward. I don't know. Clearly, this ownership group either caved in from outside pressure or they themselves felt that Jerry Colangelo would be the man to now move this thing forward. But Sam clearly saw, if you read this 13-page document that he gave to the ownership group, in private, mind you, and it's key to let us, everybody, to remind ourselves that this was released. This wasn't something that Sam made public and sent to ESPN. This was released by one of the owners that he sent it to. So this was all in private, and the owners actually prefer that type of communication. So he was kind of falling in line. So I think he saw the writing on the wall and decided to jump ship before he was pushed off the bow. And in doing that, at the end, the final page, he pretty much lays out that, don't screw this up, guys, because I set you up pretty well. Now, on the other side, unfortunately, you've got what looks to be Jerry Colangelo and this new regime doing everything they can to kind of distance themselves from Sam Hinkie. The ownership group was not present today. They kind of left Brett Brown, the head coach, out there to handle all the media about his boss's firing, which tells me that this is an ownership group that's looking to sell, and that's probably the reason why this thing and Sam got out in front of it, because he realized the ownership was going to sell. And his dream, his vision would be altered significantly.
I think people are kind of overreacting a little bit to the bullpen. It's a rebuilding year. You knew they had to trade Ken Giles. They got some nice prospects for him. People are panicking, saying the bullpen stinks. What's going on here? Should people just kind of relax and understand it's a rebuilding year? We know the bullpen's going to be bad, but you look a year or two or three down the road and this team will be better, and just kind of ride out whatever we have to deal with this year in 2016?
Well, sure. Of course they should. Will they? No. And to be fair, here's the thing, though. 9 out of 10 times, I'll agree with you. Every single time, 9 out of 10 times, I'll agree with you. This is the one time where I'm kind of 50-50, and I'm trying to understand, or at least look down the path of the fan who disagrees with us, because this team is going to lose the same way. However many, they may lose 100 games, and it's going to be 100 losses the same way. Maikel Franco is going to do something really great. Ryan Howard may hit a bomb. Aaron Ruff, somebody's going to do something here on this team, because they do have some offense, and they're able to kind of move if it's small ball or get some power from Franco. They're going to be able to generate some runs, and you're going to see them lose leads, and it's going to be the same movie over and over. So at some point, I think fans will go into it expecting the rebuild year, maybe a month into it, but I got to tell you, 40 losses, losing the same way, that's going to take its toll, let alone 100.
Is there any one player besides Franco that you're really excited to watch for, either on the current roster or hopefully soon down the pike?
I would say J.P. Crawford is one, of course, because of the intrigue of where he'll play. And Aaron Nola is their ace. And he may not be good enough for their ace. He may not pan out as a true number one. But until this team is ready to compete, and at least for this year, next year, depending on what they do, I think he is their future arm, their main arm right now. And it just looks like he's doing some things really well, and it looks like there's some areas where he's struggling still. And it's kind of just growing pains, I should say, this growth process. It's tough because, as you mentioned, it's a rebuild year. So it's not like a second-year pitcher is coming in, third-year pitcher coming in, even a rookie coming in with a lot of veteran talent and seasoned guys around him. So he's learning like everybody else is, which isn't a total reflection on him. But, yeah, I would say Crawford and Nola are the two guys.